On today's season preview, part 9.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, we make our big wishes for this NBA season.
Time for us to get yelled at. We suss out the most overrated players and teams this year.
And who is the most clutch player in the league?
The starter 72 burning question starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to part 9, the final chapter of the Starters NBA season preview. Whether you're listening to the podcast or catching us on NBA TV or YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets. Alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
We're almost there, guys. Can you feel it?
To my right, Starters blog editor, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo!
Hey, yo! And finally, the international man of mystery, taken to the max. That's Lee Ellis.
Lily.
Lily, yes. Tass is right. We are almost there. We wrap up our 72 burning questions about the upcoming NBA season. Whew! The light is at the end of the tunnel. The investigation board nearly full. Lester Freeman is oh so close
Oh, Lester.
to cracking this case. So let's help him out and put him over the top. We have 8 questions remaining. By the way, you guys have been phenomenal at jumping on Twitter. Hashtag the starters with your answers. Continue to play along for these final 8. Here we go. Question number 65. What's your biggest wish for this upcoming season?
My biggest wish is that people would stop complaining about video reviews. Now, people never stop complaining, but I think they're going to complain a little bit less because of one decision made by the league for calls to be made from the replay center rather than on the floor. Now, some calls will be made from the replay center, but I think this is going to speed up the game a little bit. Under this new policy, 70% of the video reviews conducted last year would have been made in the replay center rather than on the floor. So a lot of these calls are going to come from up at the replay center, Secaucus. You're going to see those referees go over to the scorer's table and then get it told in their ear. The biggest one, my favorite, is an out-of-bounds call is now going to be made at the replay center. So the ball gets knocked out of bounds.
Sure.
You're not going to have to wait for the referees to go over, start looking. The referees in Secaucus are actually going to start looking at it, start surveying it, just like we are at home. You'll see the referees go over, and then they get told. So last year, it was about 42 seconds, an average video review. That's how long it would take. We get a little bit less than 2 per game. It's going to speed up just a little bit. I love that that's the way it's going to be done. There are still going to be some made on the floor. They're calling them definitive and non-definitive calls, like the flagrant fouls are going to be called on the floor. And that makes sense. The referees have to feel the game. You can't really do that from a remote location.
But you're talking about a guy steps on the line, and there's like, well, was he out? And they would usually go over there, and then they would have to look at it. Then now they'll be like, because we see the replays, you're right. We're like, oh, he stepped on the line. Let's go. Let's play ball. And hopefully they get those calls in quicker, and we can just go.
Flagrant foul calls, clear path. Those are the only ones. There's a few more that are going to be made by those officials, but it's about like 70% are going to be made from the replay center. It's going to speed up the game a little bit.
But your wish is actually that people are just complaining less about the whole thing in general.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So that's going to happen.
All right, let's hope so. All right, Trey, what's your one wish for the upcoming NBA season?
Something I think everybody can get on board with. I want to see limited injuries to stars this year because last year was kind of a disaster. We had so many injuries to guys who were MVP caliber players. This is 8 guys just picked right off the top that missed at least 20 games last year. Paul George, Durant, Kobe, Carmelo, Dwight Howard, Derrick Rose, Chris Bosh, DeMarcus Cousins.
Wow.
There were so many guys that missed time last year. 16 players that have made an All-Star game in their career missed at least 20 games last year. 60% of the 2013-14 All-NBA team missed at least 10 games. You're not going to be able to avoid injuries because injuries are going to happen, but it'd be nice if they were halved, you know? Players are playing a little bit less now because teams are getting better at managing minutes. There's going to be less 4 games in 5 nights, less back-to-backs. All of that is going to help. Hopefully we have a pretty healthy season because a team like the Golden State Warriors shouldn't have to worry about everybody questioning their title because they missed out on facing some certain players in the playoffs. It should just be, hey, we played a perfectly healthy season. Everybody was there, and this is what happened.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for, and I'm sure everybody's on board.
I think I think everyone would agree with that one. No one's going to be like, no, I hope there's more injuries this year. Really makes things exciting.
Roll those ankles.
Yeah, no, look, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be an injury to a star player.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid, it's going to happen. But you saw the list there. I mean, there's a
was
lot
everybody.
of star
All
players,
NBA,
all
all-stars,
NBA
yeah.
guys that, and in this league, an all NBA guy, he can be the difference between,
changes your
as we've
season.
seen, between a playoff team and
Yeah.
not, or 55 wins, 35. They're that important. So, okay, that's an obvious one. I like that pick.
My wish is
Look
for
at
people
that.
to stop complaining about injuries.
Oh, man.
No,
You just want people to stop
No,
complaining.
when I saw that board,
That's
even I'm
wild.
surprised. I mean, we talk about this game and day in, day out, night in, night out, but I'm shocked by those amount of games from stars.
Let's hope that changes. All right, Lee, what's your one wish?
I hope the NBA and the NBA Players Association reach an agreement for a new collective bargaining agreement. There's still 2 years to run on the current one, but we know that this sort of cloud is coming, and the worst thing that could happen to the NBA right now would be some sort of work stoppage. There's a lot of issues, I understand that, but right now there is so much money in the NBA, and I think fans are less sympathetic to any sort of labour dispute when they see teams have made, we saw the Clippers are worth $2 billion right
Yeah.
now. Whatever disagreements there are and whatever issues they are, they can be worked through and they should be worked through. Adam Silver's done a fantastic job in his nearly 2 years in the big chair, but this is probably his biggest challenge now because we know Michelle Roberts has already said a few things that she doesn't want these maximum contracts. She wants, and that's fair. I mean, there's fair points on both sides,
Definitely.
but I think no matter what happens, they have to come to some sort of agreement. Maybe not necessarily this year, but I think if you
They need to start that conversation, which by all accounts they really are looking into it. Yeah.
And we just want to have a feeling that we're not going to have to worry about it in a couple of years' time, that like we're going to be out and miss a few games again, because I think that's just such a black eye for the NBA.
For sure. I like how you guys are making all these wishes for the greater good of basketball. You guys are
We love the
People of
game.
the people.
you guys are so kind. My wish for the upcoming season is terribly personal. It's the Toronto Raptors win the championship. That's my wish.
Okay.
Well,
But that is not
Not
realistic.
going to be able to do it.
So I've scaled it back a little bit. My wish is for the Raptors to win a playoff series. Let's
Okay.
start with that. Taz and I, growing up in the Toronto area, Raptors fans since day one, there with Mighty Mouse and Alvin Robertson and
John Tabak.
Doug Christie and John Tabak. In our lifetime, we're old geezers now. We've seen one Raptors playoff series win. One. That's, I mean,
that was in a
especially.
5-game series?
It was in a 5-game series against the Knicks. That's right.
It was a
only one time.
historic.
It was
win.
amazing.
It was on the road
Well,
in the Garden.
I hope for a playoff series win because especially the Raptors are now an actually solid basketball team, at least regular season, 48 wins 2 years ago, 49 wins last season, but both times flaming out in the playoffs in sort of epic fashion too. As the better team, as the higher seeded team,
Yeah.
I should say. The first year lose in 7 games.
well, the good news
At
is
the
Paul
buzzer,
Pierce is in
really.
the Western Conference. So
That's right, Paul Pierce is gone
Yeah.
because Paul Pierce beat him when he was with the Nets. And then last year, I mean, this was really demoralizing. Getting swept, just crushed by, again, Paul Pierce, and this time the Washington Wizards. I just want a playoff series win. It's my wish, that's all I want.
They got to defend that home court. Dropping game 1 in Toronto 2 straight years. Come on, Raps.
I know. All right, so let's hear from you guys, your biggest wish for the upcoming season. I'm sure you'll have some great ones. Let us know on Twitter, #TheStarters. A couple more questions remain in our 72 burning questions. When we come back, we're going to anger a whole lot of people. We'll debate the most overrated teams and players when we return. Back with the starters, tackling 72 burning questions about the upcoming NBA season. Only 7 questions remain, so let's get to question 66. Oh, this is going to get us into some trouble. Guys, who is the most overrated player in the league?
This is definitely going to get
Oh,
me in
boy.
trouble because everyone loves this guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, wow.
He's everyone's favorite player, and I understand that because he creates a lot of highlights and a lot of
Yeah.
excitement on the basketball floor. All the vines, all the tweets going around.
He's so
Huge
young,
dunks,
too, Taz.
Huge
He's
blocks.
20.
Yes, but people think that this is what he is, that they think that he is a block machine, a dunk machine, and a great three-point shooter. He shoots 16% from three-point land. I'll give him that he doesn't shoot a lot of them,
Right,
and
right.
that's a smart move. He actually has a very good shot selection, but because he's such a unique player and just a unique body type, I think people see these highlights and assume, well, he must be great all the
Right,
time. He must
right.
be doing this all the time because he's just a sort of a special-looking player
Yeah.
as well. And he plays in an organization, the Milwaukee Bucks, that a lot of people aren't watching all the time. Listen, he averages 13 points a game. He doesn't get to the line a ton. He blocks a decent amount of shots. He's just not an all-star. He's not at that level while people are trying to put him into that caliber of player. He's just not there quite yet. Maybe he's 20 years old. You mentioned
Yeah.
Skeets. He's got more than 20 letters in his name. He's fun to watch. He's a fellow Greek. I love him a lot. We had a great interview last year, but he's not an all-star.
The hype just
quite yet.
cranked up a little too
Yeah,
much too
because it's
soon.
cranked up.
Yeah, he is a great Vine player. He's a great player on Vine, a great player on Twitter.
All right, who do you got? Most overrated player?
I got to go with Tony Allen from the Memphis Grizzlies, who I will admit is maybe the best perimeter defender in the league. He led the league in steal rate last year. He was all first-team defense, which he would be happy to tell you about. But when it comes to the playoffs, he can get played off the court, as we saw the Golden State Warriors do last year. They just didn't guard him because his shot was off, and that's kind of what happens with Tony Allen.
Yeah.
And the way the Grizzlies play with two bigs, they need as much shooting as they can get. In today's NBA, you have to have three guards who can shoot, basically. But the good thing is with Tony Allen is that he is definitely the most totally watchable player in the league.
Creeps
So
me
he
out.
can get away with the antics, and it's fun having him out there. It's just the Grizzlies are really in a tough position because Tony Allen gives them their identity. Grit and grind, because he is the grind father.
Yeah.
He is the Memphis Grizzlies. They just have to figure out a way to put enough shooting around him that his non-shooting isn't a problem.
Okay, interesting pick.
it's a good one.
What do you got, Lee? Anger a fan base or a particular player that might be watching?
Similar type of player. I'm going with Patrick Beverley from the Houston Rockets because first, I love what he brings to the table defensively.
I love how
his
we all say
Yeah,
that.
build him up before you tear him down.
tenacious, scrappy defender. There's no doubt he has a lot of value on the defensive end.
Yeah.
But I think his total value is somewhat overstated because on offense, I don't think he really provides enough for the Houston Rockets. He's not a great shooter. 38% from the floor, 35% from three, which is okay, but he's
35%,
shooting
that's
about
not
6
bad.
a game. It's a few too many.
Everyone
a
on the
game.
Rockets shoots 6
their
three-pointers a
game.
game.
Yeah,
They-
but,
they tell them to go fire it up.
I kind of have to
Sometimes
respect that shot. It's an
he's-
average number.
Sort of have to respect it, but he does. It's not like he's compared sometimes to the Bruce Bowen type of player. You know, a lockdown defender, then he's going to go down and knock down those corner threes. He doesn't really do it as well as I think he's been made out to do it. And also, I think the Houston Rockets are somewhat sceptical because they went out and got Ty Lawson, who we know is an absolute upgrade on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as good defensively, but I think
Not at all, but that's the idea,
but I
right?
think-
Now
I
you've
think
got an
that in
offensive
Lawson.
player
I
in
think
Lawson
that
and a
does
defensive
make,
player in
I
Beverly.
I think that does make Beverly expendable, though. And I think that, you know, his defensive game, he has to compensate for that with his offense because it's just not there.
I'm just surprised by this pick because I don't think a lot of people are going, oh man, the Rockets. If like, look, Beverly was injured there last year. Let's say they're not like, oh, well, make or break, no Beverly in there.
Well, look
I
what-
mean, he
look at
seems
Golden State
rated.
Warriors.
He seems rated perfectly.
Well, look at the Golden State Warriors, though. They've been criticised because they had to play a lot of teams who had injured
Yeah.
point guards, and we know Beverly would have matched up against Steph Curry, and that's one of the criticisms on the Golden State Warriors. So
true.
I think he is given credit as being a fantastic defender, which he is, but I don't think his whole game makes up for that.
Okay, there's a trend to these picks, these overrated player picks, of not being able to shoot the basketball. And I'm going to continue with that. I'm going to go Ricky Rubio as an overrated player because that's where Ricky struggles. And I hate to do this to you, Ricky. I know you just turned 25
Say some nice
on
things
Wednesday.
about him first.
So first off, happy birthday. I hope you got everything you wanted.
Got great hair.
Please cumpleaños.
But Rubio is a question mark every year with the Wolves. A lot of that, yes, has to do with him staying healthy, which he's struggled to do. He's an exciting player. He's probably got the best court vision of any guard in the
Super
NBA.
creative.
But it's similar to like the Greek Freak where you see the vines of the crazy bounce passes, these unbelievable plays. You're like, wow, this guy. And he's been around for so long too.
Right.
And he only turned 25, which is weird. But he struggles to shoot the basketball too. And you saw a couple years ago, 2 years ago, JJ Barea was playing crunch time minutes because you couldn't play Rubio because teams would just back up
shoot,
off
yeah.
him, go ahead and shoot it. So unless he adds a shot and adds a three like you sort of have to have in today's game, he's just a little overrated because he is such a great passer and he's solid defensively. He does other things, but I think it's cranked a little too high. I hope he proves me wrong.
The bigger problem, I think, is that he can't finish at the rim.
Yeah.
Like Rajon
Oh,
Rondo,
that doesn't help either.
obviously not a great shooter
Yeah.
throughout his day, but he could finish at the rim. Rubio's numbers at the rim are very bad.
All right, well, let's crank it up here. Let's go from overrated player to the most overrated team. Question 67.
Not
let's
enough hate
forget
so far.
angering a player. Let's anger a fan base. Most overrated team.
To me, it's the New Orleans Pelicans. And if they were all healthy, I'd be really looking forward to their season. But they are so banged up. Every part of that Pelican, the beak, the tail, the
Yeah.
front court, the back court. Let's start with the back court. Drew Holiday, minutes restriction because of his legs. Backup point guard Norris Cole out for an extended period. Tyreek Evans out anywhere reported 4 to 8 weeks in the backcourt. That means they had to go sign Nate Robinson and Bo McCaleb in the middle of camp to play minutes, to learn their system, to play minutes. They're going to be struggling out there. Anthony Davis can't win games on his own. And he's going to have to, it feels like, because also his front court mates are banged up. Now, they should be back soon, but Omer Ashik and Alex Ajinça, 2 of their centers, their starting center and the
Yeah.
backup center, are going to come back around Halloween or so. But Asher, coming off a back problem, now has an ankle problem. He's got, or a calf problem, I should say. There's just problems across the board on this team. Again, the tail, the beak, everything.
Overrated because a lot of people saying, well, they're going to win 50 games easily.
Yeah.
They might be a dark horse to go deep into the playoffs. So, okay, that makes sense. What about you? Overrated team?
Another team that people are putting in the playoffs right away is the Utah Jazz, and I just need to see them play against competition that is ready to play against them before I'm ready to say they're a playoff team. Last year they went 19-10 after the All-Star break, but that was after they'd had a pretty bad first half of the season. I think that once the season starts, and if we can see them playing well and playing as well defensively as they were last year, then yeah, you can say that they're a playoff team. But we've seen with the Suns, with the Bucks 2 years ago, just because you have a good first season, a good half season, doesn't mean it's going to necessarily translate to the season afterwards. So I just need to see something from the Jazz before it's official.
You're not sold yet.
Right.
Lee, what about you?
Well, for me, it's the Chicago Bulls, so if you can just turn away for a sec here.
How dare you? How dare you?
But the reason I'm saying this is because I think their ceiling is whenever and wherever they run into LeBron James and the Cavs in the playoffs. That's really what's been Derrick Rose's career. He can't get past LeBron James. Now, I just want to see Derrick Rose healthy. That's the other thing. I want to see him and Joakim Noah healthy. Jimmy Butler, we know, was fantastic last year. Pau Gasol's an all-star. I mean, they've got great players and they've got a new coach in Fred Hoiberg. But for me, they're talked about as maybe the second best team in the Eastern Conference, and they probably are. But that is their ceiling. They're not going to go any further than that. So I don't really see them as a legit contender.
I'm going to pick a similar team like you with the Utah Jazz, but I'll stay in the East. The Milwaukee Bucks, to me, are a little overrated heading in here. I'm excited for them, by all means, but people are really jumped on the Bucks bandwagon. Maybe it's because they got the new jerseys. I don't know. I think they're going to be a 500 team again, or a couple more, but by no means 50 wins or being like that third best team in the East, which I see some people saying. To me, this team was an 11-18 squad after they traded Brandon Knight. There are still huge questions offensively. Greg Monroe's going to help, but there are spacing issues. When your point guard, again, Michael Carter-Williams, we can't really hit a shot. So I'm just not convinced that there's like sort of like this mini juggernaut in the East. I think it'll take a little bit longer for some of these guys to develop.
Couple years.
I think there's some defensive questions with them too.
Well,
Monroe and Jabari
yeah.
Parker, when he's healthy, are not the greatest front court defensively.
And that's how they were picking up those wins last year, playing great defense. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, it's a 4-man edition of the Hot Seat.
Ooh.
I don't know how this is going to work. Back with the starters, and it's time for the final hot seat of our 72 Burning Questions season preview series. Now, look, we've all had 2 chances on the seat, so let's do this as a team. Tass, you start us off, all right? We're subbing on the fly here. Tass, your question. 68, which new coach will have the biggest impact?
Scott Skiles of the Orlando Magic. He gets his team to grind out wins that they probably don't deserve, and he goes to young teams and gets them to win a ton more games. He went to Chicago, they won 24 more games. He went to Milwaukee, they won 8 more games in their first year. The Orlando Magic, 25 wins, have a lot more room to grow. Some great coaches around the league, but the Magic have more room to grow.
All right, Trey, you're in. Let's go. Quickly, question 69. Which NBA player's hair would you most want to have?
I think the best hair in the NBA right now is none other than Jeremy Lin of the Charlotte Hornets. I've always had curly hair and I've always wanted straight hair. The great thing about it, super versatile. You know, you can wear it up, look like Dragon Ball Z, wear it down, look like a cool Beatles fan from the 1960s. Either way, great look on me. I think we should all go for this.
That's a great look. All right, you're out. Lee, you're up. Question, what are we at? Question 70 here. Besides the Warriors, Lee, who has the best backcourt in the NBA?
The Washington Wizards. It's John Wall and Bradley Beal. John Wall's already an all-star. Bradley Beal could very well be an all-star himself this year. We know that John Wall really, if he can get a consistent jump shot going, he's going to be such a threat, even more of a threat than he already is. Bradley Beal, he's been a fantastic player for last season and in the playoffs. I think he's in for a huge season this year. So I'm going with John Wall, Bradley Beal from the Washington.
No love for the Raptors. DeRozan.
Some love there, but
Somewhat.
they really faded towards the end of last season. They ran into the Wizards, John Wall and
Yeah,
Bradley
that's a
Beal.
good point.
John Wall didn't even play.
And Otto Porter. Don't
All right,
you know
Lee.
that?
All right, come on,
Here we
Tessie.
go, here we go. The second to last question of our 9-part preview, number 71.
Yeah.
Skeets, who is the most clutch player in the National Basketball
man. Okay,
Association?
look, I'm not going to be upset if Steph Curry's taking the final shot or LeBron James statistically is unbelievable in the clutch. I know, yes, believe it, people. I know people still can't believe that. But if there's one guy I want to take the final shot, I go with Kevin Durant.
All right.
He can get any shot that he wants. 2 years ago, I mean, it felt like he had a buzzer beater every month. Be it over the Hawks or the Wolves or, oh, hey, over the Raptors in double overtime from about 50 feet in your eye. So I go with Kevin Durant only because he can get sort of any shot.
I want to get you in trouble. What about Kobe Bryant? Is he not the most clutch player in the league?
No.
Melo?
What
How about
year?
Melo?
What year?
What
Melo's
about
up there.
James
Melo's
Harden?
up there. All right, final question, guys. Question 72.
Let's all do this.
Oh, yeah, we should answer it together. All right, fair enough. Everyone on the hot seat.
Oh, boy.
That's a bad idea. Question
that
72. What's your finals prediction? Why did Trey have to sit on me?
Hey, man, I lost 20 pounds for this.
Yeah.
I'll start us off. I
yeah.
got Cavs over Warriors. Rematch, Cavs, Dubs. Cavs healthy, they take it.
All right, you guys.
I've also got a rematch, but I've got the Warriors beating the Cavs for the second time. I believe in a historic team from last year.
Lee, hurry up. I can't feel my legs.
I can't believe the Warriors have been given so much disrespect. They won the championship. They're almost like a dark horse to win it again this year.
I go Spurs over Cavs. The Cavs is the obvious pick to come out of the East, but I'll give it the Spurs.
We should do all
right.
our shows like this.
No, we
Yeah,
should.
this is comfortable for me.
Also,
I want that hair thing on Trey.
it just
again.
got very warm here on the hot seat. What just happened?
They call it the
Trey,
hot
that
seat.
is disgusting.
The hot seat's finally hot.
When we come back, the fans decide on the most overrated team. Oh, okay, get off me. Back with the starters. The results are in of our final Facebook poll for our 72 burning questions. And it was, which team is the most overrated heading into the season? 27% of you out there picked the Clippers.
Not a bad choice.
Bulls coming in next, followed by the Bucks and the Rockets. Thanks to everyone for jumping over to our Facebook page and playing along with all of those polls throughout this 9-part season preview series. Guys, that is it. 72 burning questions have been asked and answered and put up on our investigation board. We've tackled really everything, such as who will win MVP. That one was a hearty debate. Also, who will have the most triple doubles this
Great
season.
photo of Westbrook.
Trey told us the secret to a great cannonball.
Have some fun.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. Biggest name to be traded this season. And of course, we ended with the granddaddy of them all. What's your finals prediction? We want to hear from you guys, and we've really appreciated everyone jumping on Twitter throughout these 9-part shows to let us know your answer. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know why we got to play the season at
Yeah.
this point. We
Got
know
all the
what's going to
info.
happen. Yeah, just look at the board. All right, done with the 72 burning questions, but guess what's back? The Drop is back.
It's back!
Our hour-long audio-only podcast. It's up on iTunes and Google. We dug a little deeper into those 72 burning questions, talked about some over-unders, had a whole lot of fun. So again, go check that out. And guys, Tuesday, we're
here.
back. NBA opening night. We're going to get the festivities started here on the network. 5 p.m. Eastern. Lee's getting up his shots. So join us then live from our new studio here on campus. Can't wait.
Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to the season. And remember, this is how the cool kids play musical chairs.
Embrace the night, people.
Musical chair, I guess.